Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Kent LUETZEN. A storm of controversy forced Puerto Rico today to pull the plug on a deal with Whitefish Energy. The tiny electrical company with only 2 full-time employees had been awarded a huge contract, $300 million to be exact, to restore electricity knocked out by Hurricane Maria. David Begnaud has more.
I have asked the board of the Power Authority to invoke the cancellation clause in the contract immediately.
Puerto Rico Governor RICARDO ROSELLO made the announcement nearly a week after questions were raised about how the small energy company in Montana got a $300 million no-bid contract to help rebuild Puerto Rico's electrical grid. Whitefish Energy is based in this 2-bedroom house in a remote, affluent area of northwestern Montana. The 2-year-old company had become the center of negative attention, and it was too much for the governor.
It's interfering with everything, and it doesn't go towards the best interest of the people of Puerto Rico. So that's where I come in.
3 hours after the governor's surprise announcement, Ricardo Ramos, head of the Puerto Rican Electrical Power Authority, announced that the contract will be canceled, but only after Whitefish completes its current work.
So even if I cancel today, it becomes effective in 30 days.
So far, Ramos says Whitefish has been paid nearly $11 million, and there's another $9.8 million payment that's pending. The company, which has hired more than 350 people to do the work in Puerto Rico, says it's very disappointed in the decision by the governor to ask that the contract be canceled, adding that it will only delay what the people of Puerto Rico want and deserve. If the governor gets his way and the contract is canceled, the governor wants to bring in more power crews from New York and Florida. Now, a lot of people have asked, exactly how did the Whitefish Energy Company first get in contact with power officials in Puerto Rico? Well, the CEO of Whitefish said during an interview that he used the social media site LinkedIn to send a message shortly before Hurricane Maria made landfall. David Begnaud, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Whitefish CEO Andy Tekmansky said his company has 300 workers on the ground in Puerto Rico and added they will continue any work they are asked to finish. Switching gears to weather, looks like a nice beginning to the work week, but possible snow for some parts of western Montana. Let's go to our Storm Tracker Weather Center with meteorologist Russ Thomas for more. Russ?
Yeah, it's going to be a nice start to the work week. It is going to be a chilly start to the work week, though. We're talking about a lot of sunshine for your Monday. We're looking at our Doppler network radar right now, and what you can see is clouds beginning to shift to the south of most of the area. So northwest Montana, Flathead Valley, Mission Valley is clear right now, and we'll continue to see those skies clear. And as that happens and winds calm, it is going to be pretty chilly tomorrow morning. Temperatures right now, notice how the areas that have cleared out, like Kalispell, sitting at 30 degrees, then just south of that, Polson 43. Missoula 42, 46 in Thompson Falls, and we'll have more coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Russ. In national news, in a few hours, Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller is reportedly going to unveil the first indictment in the investigation into the Trump campaign's ties to Russia. Meg Oliver has a story from New York.
Sources have told CBS News that a federal grand jury has approved the charges brought by special counsel Robert Mueller. The indictment could be unsealed Monday.
The only thing we know is that there have been charges approved by a grand jury, and those remain sealed. We don't know how many people have been charged. We don't know what the extent of the charges are. Mueller
has the authority to look into any possible connection between the Trump campaign and Russia. On Sunday, President Trump tweeted about a witch hunt, adding, quote, "All of this Russia talk when the Republicans are making their big push for historic tax cuts and reform. Is this coincidental? Not." A lawyer for the president later said the tweets were unrelated to Mueller's probe. Susan Collins sits on the Senate Intelligence Committee.
I have not yet seen any definitive evidence of collusion. I've seen lots of evidence that the Russians were very active in trying to influence the election.
Congressman Trey Gowdy urged his GOP colleagues to keep an open mind.
I think Bob Mueller has a really distinguished career of service to our country. I would encourage my Republican friends, give the guy a chance to do his job.
It's unclear who alerted the media to news of the indictments. Some White House allies are calling for another investigation into the leaking of supposedly secret grand jury proceedings. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
On Wednesday, the Senate Intelligence Committee will hold a hearing into the ways that social media influenced the 2016 election. Representatives from Google, Twitter, and Facebook are scheduled to testify. In Ravalli County, no injuries have been reported after an early Sunday morning fire at a home in Victor. The Victor Volunteer Fire Department, along with crews from Corvallis, Pinesdale, and Stevensville, responded to a home on U.S. Highway 93 just before 2 a.m. Victor Fire Chief Scott Hackett said that the fire started in the area of the stove. Hackett added the structure had been through multiple remodeling phases, which made it more difficult to extinguish. At around 4:30 a.m., an excavator removed the roof of the house as crews worked for nearly 4 hours to control the flames. Hackett said the house is a total loss and the cause of the blaze is unknown. A man from Malmstrom Air Force Base is lucky to be alive today after he was almost shot Saturday night. Frank Rosette says he was getting ready to go to bed when he heard a loud bang and then noticed his TV had fallen over. At first he thought his TV blew a fuse, but when he saw he was bleeding, he realized he was peppered with a shotgun blast. Rosette said his neighbors and the person who had shot the gun came in running and called 911. Rosette suffered superficial injuries, says he didn't realize how bad it could have been until he got home from the hospital.
I sleep up against the wall, and that's right where my face would have been, so that could have been seriously dangerous. And if I had been 6 inches forward grabbing my phone, I would have taken a direct point-blank shot to the rib cage, and that would have been obviously terrible too. So I'm definitely counting my blessings that all I got was just some superficial wounds, some cuts and bruises that'll heal up in a couple of days.
20-year-old Gavin Key has been charged with criminal endangerment for discharging the firearm. Cascade County Attorney Josh Rackey says Key is also facing a charge of minor in possession of alcohol. A man wanted on a felony warrant in Utah was arrested in Livingston after leading officials on a high-speed chase this afternoon. The Park County Sheriff's Office received a call of an erratic driver heading westbound, driving all over the road, slamming on the brakes, traveling at speeds of 100 miles per hour, and endangering other drivers on I-90. The driver's name is Brian Wells and was booked into the Parks County Detention Center on the following charges: driving with a suspended license, felony criminal endangerment, reckless driving, and eluding a police officer. That investigation is still ongoing. Montana has a total of 3 pediatric ICUs, one in Missoula, one in Kalispell, and another in Billings. Montana also has the 8th highest number of critical access hospitals designed to provide essential services to rural areas. Dr. Laura Wilson is a pediatric hospitalist at Community Medical Center and is working to help those doctors in remote hospitals better treat children across the state. So she brought in experts to do just that.
Many of these places are not quite ready to take care of children. They don't have the necessary resources, medications, and training. And so Lauren's idea of bringing them here to community and the investment that Community Medical Center has placed in this has allowed us to train people so that when they go to the critical access hospitals, they are more comfortable in taking care of pediatric patients.
The curriculum for the training course was provided by the Society of Critical Care Medicine, and it covered each step when it comes to treating young patients. Dr. Wilson said some of the most important things that will result from this course are that providers will be able to recognize the signs of critical illness and treat children closer to home before they are moved to a larger facility. According to the experts, treating children is very different from treating adults.
It's always scary treating children. I think it's easy to put yourself into the parents' position, plus we're all parents and grandparents, and just having a sick child come in is, makes you move faster, I guess.
The goal is to have someone who's trained in pediatric critical care in every hospital across the Big Sky. After the break, it should be beautiful for trick-or-treating, but after that, the Flathead area could be seeing some snow. Weather up next. Plus, the Missoula Children's Museum transformed their building into a spooky Halloween treat for the kiddos. Stay tuned.